signs you could have stayed. It's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Alright, so now I'm done with the One Young World here. These are some of the tweets that I came across over the weekend. Alright, so that was way before the One Young World. Alright, so there's here Daily Mail UK. Someone had tweeted it and I took that straight from it. Okay, Bethenny Frankel unleashes a furious tirade against sanctimonious Meghan Markle. Alright, Bethenny Frankel slams sanctimonious Meghan Markle. The former Real Housewives of New York star spoke out to slam Meghan, 41, and latest episode of her podcast, Just Be. Oh, so that's where she's from. Real Housewife of what? Of New York? So this is where she made her name of herself? Okay, so I wasn't sure. Okay, let's see some here. I've heard of her. I think she had a show. Let's go to her. How did she start? Maybe we'll get something. Bethenny Frankel is an American businesswoman, television personality, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and author. She starred in Bravo television series The Real Housewives of New York, having starred in 8 of the 13 seasons since 2008. Okay, so she's 51. Alright, let's see here. The whole point here is she says something about Meghan. Okay, oh, I want to trend. What do I do? Attack Meghan. No matter what, she will still rise. Okay, y'all also obsessed. Cantankerously. A, who? B, who cares? Okay, now I get that. Alright, so that was that to get you started of what was going on with her. So she came out and talking nonsense about Meghan. Alright, so I'm not gonna click on the link and I'm not gonna share the link, even if I can. Alright, so now there's Chris Evans. Oh, let's see something here. there's Chris Evans. Alright, so Chris Evans take it from here. So I had to get you, like, warm you up into what was all this about. Okay, so Chris Evans have receipt. Bethenny Frankel's comment on Meghan Markle basically boiled down to, quote, she stuck up and thinks she's better than other people, end quote. It sounds like every complaint I've heard from insecure white women about successful, confident black women they think should, quote, know their place, end quote. I'm telling you, Chris Evans is one of those people. If you ever on Twitter, he's everywhere. Okay, every topic you name it, he has receipt. And it's one person you don't mess about. You don't call him out because he has receipt. All right, and he doesn't mess around. All right, so that he continues. Okay, I notice they keep saying this but never cite any specific examples of Meghan, quote, talking down, end quote, to people. It's always just vague generalities based on their feelings. Okay, let's see here. This is the same woman who accused Sunny of being a drunk or a drug addict because she told a story about Bethany accosting her children. All right, so let's listen to this.
Have you made amends?
Okay, so it's a minute and 15 seconds. I will still have to stop in between just to let you know.
Have you made amends with Bethany? I'm a Real Housewives fan. I'm a Sunny.
Okay, Sunny is a smart woman. Okay, I believe she's a lawyer, attorney, or how do they say it in the UK? A barrister or something like that? The equivalent of an attorney. All right, so she's a very smart woman. And there was something that was, Camilla Harris was gonna be on her show. I believe it was The View. And at the time, that's where they were starting to loosen up about the COVID, because they know, and I think I brought this out before, they know she knows her stuff, meaning her. Okay, Sunny, she knows her stuff. She will ask the tough question. What did ABC did? Okay, they claimed that she had COVID. Okay, and it was a false reading, because they know she was gonna ask Vice President Kamala Harris the tough question. And I think at that time, that's when there were some Haitian who were at the border, and I think Mexico and Texas. All right, the image of those people on horses with those rope trying to chase those Haitian running in the field and all of that. All right, so they know she probably was gonna bring this question up, so they gave her that false claim of COVID, so she didn't have to be on the show when Vice President Kamala Harris was there. This is my perspective of that. It never happened because she wasn't there, so they gave her that false reading of false result of COVID. All right, so that's one thing, because she is very smart. I don't watch The View that much, but when that popped up, and I knew that was, in my humble opinion, I knew that was the reason. But and remember, ABC, that's the same station that they claim when that anchor, that journalist had stuff about Epstein, and then the palace told them not to air it, otherwise they're not gonna have access to William and Kate and all of that. That's the same station. All right, just to give you an idea that her show was on. I'm moving it back slightly, where they're asking her about Bethany, what's her name? Bethenny Frankel, whatever.
Fan? I'm a Sunny fan. A girl wants to know.
Let's hear
And
her.
so does everyone else. It all started a couple of months ago when Sunny told her View co-hosts about a personal encounter she had with Bethany.
Let's hear about the tea.
Again?
I don't think you've ever actually
Spill the
exposed.
tea.
Let's
Go
hear
ahead.
it.
No, she spilled the tea a couple of times.
Say it again.
I don't know. They're telling me not to talk about it in my ear.
Who said that? Is
Because
Bethany in your ear?
And although producers attempted to stop Sunny from telling the story, she didn't.
So what did she do? So then she went out there and yelled at the kid?
And yelled at my child, and I went out there and stood in front of my child, and I yelled at her and told her that adults speak to adults.
What's going on with you and Sun?
This is what I mean. She's, in her earpiece, the producers probably said, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. She just give you a small snippet of it, but let's listen.
Honey from The View.
I don't know.
She said you yelled at her kid on the beach.
I know. I think she's been drinking or taking some drugs. I don't know. And I don't know her.
So it's like, ooh, child, ooh, child. I can see it in your face. It's so funny. No. Okay.
While Sunny's silence speaks volumes,
Oh man, I only wanted to know more. Oh, this one is the best visit Chris Evans brought in. Okay, and then she got caught lying on her own flap talk show when Amorosa dragged her with receipt. Oh my god. I know some of the squad. I think I did put screenshot or something. I don't know. Put something out about this on either my community board or whatever. You know what? Let's just listen. Let's just listen.
You and I even had a skirmish. You were upset about me, but you took publicly to talk about it. What's interesting in Hollywood is that people...
No, I emailed you after you did The View, and it really hurt my feelings, I have to tell you, because I thought we were friends. And after I watched it, I thought, why would she go on The View and badmouth me?
And The View pretty much is the same show that Sunny was in, that previous video from up here. Same show that they're making reference to. But let's listen.
And I don't think I badmouthed you. I think it was Joy or Sherry Shepherd. Someone said to me,
Sherry.
You're doing your own reality show, so you're like Omarosa. And I said,
no, my career is real, and my book and my brand, and her, no. She just went on there to be a villain.
No,
I didn't like that. And I was like,
would you like me? I can have someone.
Why would you say that?
Well, first of all, we knew each other through The Apprentice. I mean, we never had dinner. We weren't friends.
I'm going to tell you something.
It's like we weren't friends. There it is. But okay, let's listen. Throwing the shade already.
I'm going to tell you something. I actually thought we were friends. It's interesting that you would say you didn't think we were friends. When you called me when you were on, you contacted me through somebody when you went on Martha Stewart's Apprentice, kind of reaching out. And so maybe you were just trying to use me to get information. You could call that what you want.
Amorosa doesn't play. She's straight up front. She doesn't play. Let's go back to that. All right, let's listen.
To go on, and Sherry's my friend. To go on The View and badmouth me to my friend is bad form, Bethany.
Well, okay, if you're going to talk about something that happened, let's get the facts straight.
Let's read the...
I said that you were known for being infamous. And then I spoke about myself. I said that I had 2 New York Times bestsellers.
You never said I have a real career. You never said that.
I said that you didn't.
I read the quote. You said I have a real career.
Can we just get the quote? Someone must have it.
And I have a brand, and I have
I will give you $10,000 if I said I have a real career.
10,000?
Yes.
And you know what?
If I said I have a real career, I will give you $10,000.
Amorosa bought receipt. Oh my God.
This has turned out to be a
it's
great
gonna be
day.
Great. If I said the words, I think I said no. Actually, I have a brand. I have 2 New York Times bestsellers. I have a cocktail. Omarosa used it for being
memory
infamous.
must be going. Let's have somebody.
I said used it for being infamous.
Paul, he has my phone.
Okay.
We can pull it up. This is great. I'll use that money to
for your
help
church.
the folks. Yes, on Skid Row.
It will be excellent.
Because I know I'm about to get $10,000.
This is good.
I think she's an interesting example because she used her time on a reality. I did say I have a real career. I had $10,000. I said I have a real career. I have a brand. I have a very popular cocktail. I have 2 New York Times bestsellers. I have my own show. Okay, so I owe you $10,000, and I meant every word of this.
Wow.
I think she's an interesting example. Okay, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. It's different for you and I. I'm an African-American woman. You get to walk around and be mediocre, and you still get rewarded.
shit. Amorosa wasn't playing right in her face. Right in her face.
Things. We have to be exceptional to get anything in this business. I wasn't calling her mediocre because clearly she's doing well. I'm here on your show, and I think that's fantastic.
And you're $10,000 richer.
And $10,000 richer. But I think it's important to understand that you don't stay a decade on television in reality TV without being smart and creating a brand that people want to see. If the audience didn't want to see Omarosa, they would never book me again, which is why you booked me to be on your show.
Oh my God. Right on her face.
I booked you on your show because
so there's a brand there. There's something, a commodity. There's something of value.
You just seemed quite defensive.
No, you had to go and get fact checkers because I remember
watching
watching that.
But I meant it.
You're not walking in your own truth.
Oh wow.
You don't accept your own truth. It's true.
She's spot on.
No. The moment that this is me giving you a little religion. Let me give you a little religion.
Whew.
The moment you accept your real truth, everything's going to open up for you. Everything, your happiness, your joy, your relationships.
Okay, listen.
It's going to open up. But
let me finish.
it cannot happen until you accept your own truth.
That's
and
heavy.
That's when the audience, I think, will connect with you. Boo, I'm here. I'm here.
Listen,
I'm here.
I think you are entitled.
And the truth is, 10 years later, I'm still sitting here. 10 years later, I want to see you here still, this show, Bethany, a year from now. I hope so.
You will.
I hope
A year from now, and I think the show is canceled. She was spot on.
so. I hope so.
So here's what I want to say.
I wish I had an audience person to get me cheers whenever I needed them. That's cute.
That's cute.
You and I?
All right, let's see here. Chris Evans has more visit. Remember, Ellen, quote, I have mixed kids, and quote, Pompeo calling Kamala Harris, quote, overconfident, and quote, because she addressed Joe Biden and the debates. This is consistent theme with white women who expect extraordinary black women to be, quote, humble, and quote, but they really mean subservient. All right, let's see here. Yahoo Entertainment. Oh my God, he has receipt. Ellen Pompeo slammed for calling Kamala Harris overconfident. Black women are allowed only a certain amount of confidence. Why had somebody have the guts to write this nonsense? Wow, the bubble these people are in. August 1st, 2019. Susie Byrne. Who's that? Is that her? But let's see here. Wow, I didn't even know about any of this. Her opinion of black people is clearly that we're ghetto and ratchet. Alright, a thread of the problematic and dumb thing Bethenny Frankel had said and done. Doing this, so a lot of it is in one place, and then I can continue to add more when she inevitably say and does more things. Okay, so that's another thread. I don't want to go into it. Alright, so this is US politics at the bottom. So I just wanted
made amends with.
So that's some of the thread that Chris Evans had bought. Alright, let's see here. Daily UK, Bethenny Frankel comment. Alright, let's go to the next tweet, and I think it still deal with Bethenny Frankel. Alright, this is shift of conversation here. Let me copy that really quick. Okay, if they really wanted to slag off the royal family, they would have slagged off the royal family. And you know what I'm talking about, Crisco. There's a lot of sitting ducks there, Dennis. Alright, so, oh damn, it's only 25 seconds, but let's listen.
But you've got to remember, they know a lot about why they left that we are not privy to, that they can't talk about, because believe you me, I am sure that if they really wanted to slag off the royal family, and you know what I'm talking about, Christo, if they really wanted to slag off the royal family, they would slag off the royal family, right? There are a lot of sitting ducks there.
I feel like there was much more that I saw. These are tweets over the weekend I saw on my phone, and I had to bookmark them right away because I will never see them again, or I will have to spend hours to search for them. I felt like I saw a longer version of this, but let's continue. So they're talking about slagging off the royal family. I forgot what was his question.
Out. But you've got to remember, they know a lot about why they left.
Okay, why they left, meaning Harry and Meghan. Alright, so that was it, only 25 seconds. Okay, here is Dennis Wells defending Meghan too. Thank you to you, gorgeous women. Okay, let's see here. Crisco got nervous really quick when she said, you and I know. Let's see here. Okay, did you see how quickly Dennis wiped that smirk on his face? There's this. Crisco rapid eye blank. Why so nervous? Alright, intriguing. She could take out the sitting ducks one by one. The thing about this is only one example he gave even mentioned the royal family briefly. He comes across as playing into the hate rather than believing it. Alright, what else? Okay, the most therefore didn't speak too soon. Wow. Okay, how about slagging off the royal pedal? Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. Alright, So Sussex squad, mark your calendar for upcoming event in the UK and Germany. Join the celebration for their arrival. I am sure it will be like fans going on a concert. There's a laugh, but yeah, all know that Harry and Meghan is the rock star. That's what stopped them getting securities. Royal family is playing illegal game. Right, Harry and Meghan, Europe. Mark your calendar. 5th September. The One Young World, which Manchester Summit, which is happening, and then tomorrow, the 6th, today, which is today, the same day that Meghan podcast is coming, because I think it's every Tuesday. Okay, INVICTUS game, Düsseldorf 2023, 1 year to go. Okay, World Child Award, 8th September. All right, so they're probably already in Germany. They probably didn't even sleep in the UK after the One Young World speech. Okay, exciting. I know that there will be a lot of pics because trashy tabloid have to make their money. Alright, so that's it. Let's move on. This should have been like on my first video, but they were coming in a different on my phone, so I what do you call this? I keep on bookmark them as I saw them. Alright, this is Global Citizen. We are here for Meghan Markle and at Mariah Carey, reclaiming the word diva on this week's episode of Archetype. And I saw this over the weekend, not way after. I wish I had seen it when right after the podcast. All right. We don't have a SoundCloud to promote, but we do have a free app you can download to take action and enter to win tickets. Okay, Global Citizen Festival and September 24. Okay, yes, we are. There's the clap. Indeed, we are. So they use that to promote that thing. I'm telling you, everybody is piggyback. Even though Harry and Meghan have been on Global Citizen, so they use that part of the podcast to mention this. This is the real issue here, that with Global Citizen. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so there's another thread. This I probably will end it with that. All right, so let's get started. Okay, according to these screens, according to these cretins, and Alison P. Davis doesn't like Meghan. Yeah, right. All right, 31 seconds. Let's listen.
This article to think, oh yeah, that's the British media. They're dreadful. When and she can't be accused of being too specific.
What was so fun was
very damaging.
She wanted the interviewer to agree with her, and she thought the interviewer would, and the interviewer was very clever and didn't particularly.
Okay, I'm not sure who they're talking about. Was it about Meghan? Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but let's listen.
And actually, as you said, the interviewer was pretty anti-Meghan and wrote it so beautifully and carefully and cleverly.
And she also made another untrue claim, which is important for us to address, which is she talked about if they'd stayed in Britain, this article to think.
Okay, so they're talking about Meghan. Probably, I think The Cut or something like that must be one of those. I read 2 articles on 2 different videos. I'm not sure which one they're making reference to, but let's go to the next thread. All right. They said this is a thread. Should I go into that? Okay, so it started here. Okay. A nightmare. Okay, but let's listen as it comes.
On to this new episode of Meghan's podcast. Richard, have you been to bed with Mariah and Meghan? Did you make it through this one?
I did listen to a bit of it. I mean, how many weeks?
Hey, this is what makes the podcast popular. These haters, they want something to talk about in their shows to spin Meghan's words. And it's completely opposite of what she meant.
I have to listen to this podcast.
I'm not sure how many are there. There's about 8.
Things 8 in this.
Yeah.
You're not sure you could take it? Why the hell did you go click on it to listen to it? How dumb can you be if you know you can't take it, but yet you go and click on it? These people, let's listen to this BS here.
Do I have to listen to this podcast? I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know how
I
many
can
are there. There's
take
about
it.
8.
Things 8 in this.
Oh, look at this. They know it more than I do, than most of the They already they're more than happy to say how many more podcasts left for the rest of the season.
Kill me in this job.
Not me. Not me.
But no, it's the same old thing. Look, I was interested in hearing about Carey. You know, she's a great figure, just like Serena Williams. And I was hoping for some interesting details about her past. But again, it was Meghan. It was Meghan in the headlines.
What?
The story that came out this time was about how Meghan had only started to see herself as black after... Harry.
But it's to the conversation. It's to the conversation. When you're having a conversation with people, things popped up, they discuss it and then share it with you. Whatever the podcast Harry and I keep on saying Harry, Meghan was discussing with Mariah Carey, could have easily be just a private conversation between the two of them, but they decided to share it with you. But yet you're thinking it's all about Meghan. It's to a discussion. This came up. Oh my God. But yet he's not sure he could take it, but yet he went and listened to it anyway.
And she seems to turn it round, so again it was all about her, and that's not really what I would hope for from an interview with superstars like Mariah Carey and
a podcast is a conversation. Okay, that was not an interview. It was a podcast, a conversation between two women discussing different topic. All right, each one of them giving their experience, and through that you get to see their perspective. Am I wrong with this? I don't know, maybe I misunderstood that.
Williams.
It did make me wish that I'd kept from my Glamour magazine days the rider we had when we did a shoot with Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah, what was on it?
She's well earned that diva title. That's all I can say.
No, but diva's not bad. That's she was saying. Meghan's a diva too.
Well, that's the thing. That was the one thing that stuck out, wasn't it, Charlotte? Meghan's shock when Mariah called her a diva.
I don't. Meghan has misunderstood.
There it is. Why is it Mariah was the one who called her that? And then she's shook about it. And then this woman started to spending a different way. Let's listen to this BS now.
Wasn't it, Charlotte? Meghan's shock when Mariah called her a diva.
I don't. Meghan has misunderstood her own podcast. Meghan's the whole time going, actually, diva's not a bad word, and we should turn this around. Then Mariah calls her a diva, and she has a complete meltdown. How dare you call me a diva? It's literally the entire point of her podcast.
What do you think it says about her?
Everything that Meghan is for, these people are against. It's ridiculous with these people. What? I can't believe these people.
Feelings about her own image.
She cannot take any criticism whatsoever.
What?
And not only that, but she reacted at the time, and then she went into post-production, sat down and recorded a whole new segment saying how offended she was. Maybe a day later it would have been recorded, maybe a week later. Goes to show she doesn't let things just go by.
I felt that she worked through stuff in that podcast. She had an epiphany at the end that
did have
maybe
an
diva
epiphany.
could work both ways. But she's not talking to me. She's talking to a girl 20 years younger than me who's hearing her. They're wanting to live like Meghan with a verdant lawn and a barefoot husband.
Do you think they want to listen to you talking negative non-stop? But at least they got something different. Create your own podcast to listen to and make your own version of whatever it is that you want to do. Wow, women discrediting everything that Meghan said. Everything that Meghan is for, these people are against. But
and palm trees that unite
wow.
underground, like Harry and Meghan's love.
You've lost me at the intertwining palm trees. That's enough.
Oh my God.
I'm done.
Wow.
I can't handle it anymore. But with all the excitement around
but yet you're gonna listen to her podcast today.
It was perhaps easy to forget that there have been more headlines around the financial affairs of some of the charities linked to the Prince of Wales. The Mail on Sundays.
Okay, I would love to listen to that. All right, there's another one here. Let me see if it's the same thing.
From an American audience.
But the bigger picture is that in America, where success is much more judged on money and status and the brand, she's blown it out of the water. She's top of the Spotify rankings.
Harry and Meghan are incredibly marketable. I'd call them the new young Obamas. They're going to make an ungodly amount of money.
And she's blown it out of the water. She's top of the Spotify rankings.
They're going to make an ungodly amount of money. And you know what? They literally could become billionaires.
And she's blown it out of the water. She's top of the Spotify ranking.
They literally could become billionaires over the next 20 years.
She's top of the Spotify ranking.
If either of them came on Shark Tank, I wouldn't even wait for them to pitch. I'd be like, I'm in, whatever you want, yes. Because they are so marketable. It would be so easy to develop products and projects for them, with them, and around them. It'd be, yes. Can you hook it up?
Everyone's talking about how whether negative or positive.
And that's where the jealousy come in. They didn't believe she could make it to the top. This is where the jealousy come in. Look at her face as she said those words. Look at her face here.
That's a nice nightmare for the Cambridges going forward. Their children, you know, is everybody or anybody who's going to want to marry those children, is it going to be for the tinsel, the mantle, you know, to run off into the sunset and create some other idea of royalty?
Well, the royal family are putting that on themselves. All they had to do is focus on themselves. Leave Harry and Meghan alone. But they had a different vision, that crooked vision of themselves. They feel like Harry and Meghan, well, mostly Meghan, should not be part of that. But this is Harry's wife. And this is what Harry wanted for himself, by his side. But they had a different vision. They didn't want Meghan to be at the table. But Harry wants to live his life. You have your wife and children. You're doing your own thing. But what about him? So the squad have been saying this for years. Since they've been bashing on Harry and Meghan. This is not looking good for the Cambridge's kids. Who's gonna want to marry them when your own freaking parents are doing that to your uncle and your uncle's wife? So nobody is gonna want to deal with this BS. Especially for Charlotte. Is it Charlotte is the girl? Yeah, I don't know about I don't know for the boys, but Charlotte, well, it might be easier for Charlotte because a man would be marrying into the royal family, unless if it goes the other way, I don't know. But for the boys, it might be harder for any woman with self-respect and don't want to deal with this BS, because from what I've heard, there's a lot of women who did not want to marry William. They didn't want to deal with that. Okay, so the Cambridges are making it worse, really making it worse for their children. They think they're hurting Harry and Meghan, but they're really hurting their own children in the long run. But let me listen to that. I'm gonna move it back slightly.
Until, you know, to run off into the sunset and create some other idea of royalty. I think this is actually a longer term nightmare for the institution of monarchy in our country.
She's speaking the truth now.
Filched, you know, take a bit of it and run off. It's kind of cruel almost.
I wonder if Charles will be sort of like taking that under advisement.
But didn't Charles said he wanted to slam down the monarchy? So Harry and Meghan did him a favor. Or were they waiting? They wanted Harry and Meghan to suffer until they, the royal family, decided, okay, I don't want you anymore. They have to be the one to discard them. But Harry and Meghan cannot take themselves out of the game when they want to.
The conversation between Diana and Peter Sutherland had been extremely productive. Now it was time to get to work. Diana was ready to transform herself from retiring royal spouse to formidable public figure.
They wanted them to suffer until he's king or whatever, and then he could say, you're not part of this circle anymore. But instead, Harry and Meghan said, I'm sorry, I have my own life to live. I tried to help you, but you pushed me away, so I'm out. More than happy to leave. So this is the thing that I'm getting here. They wanted Harry and Meghan to suffer and wait until Charles become king, so Charles could be the one. Okay? Charles should be the one, or the institution should be the one to discard them. But yet they're putting them to obstacles after obstacles. But let's listen some more.
What can Charles do, though? It makes Charles look like he's come from another decade, another century.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Speaking of what you said about Harry and sort of like feeling sorry for him, why
would they feel sorry for Harry? Harry's living his life. Harry even said he wished he had made this decision years before.
And I have no regrets. It's incredibly sad, but I have no regrets at all, because now I'm in a place where I feel as though I should have been 4 years ago.
So why are these people feeling sorry for Harry? Harry is happy. He's creating his family. These people are delusional. Are you freaking kidding me?
I wondered, Charlotte, if the flip side of that, so Harry sort of like keeps coming in and making these appearances in the podcasts and such, that maybe there's a sense that...
Wait a second. Did Harry ever come into a podcast? I know Harry, maybe Serena. I'm not... Okay, I listened to both of the podcasts, the Serena and Mariah's podcast, once. So I don't recall hearing Harry said anything in the podcast. But I think they made reference to Harry. Is the article that I read Okay, I read it in one of the videos that Harry said hi to the whoever was interviewing Meghan, because the interview, you could just picture them walking around, going different places, go to pick up Archie and all of that. So Harry made a quick appearance on the, I think it was the cut, all right, where Harry introduced himself to the interviewer or the journalist who was interviewing Meghan. That's what I remember. I could be wrong, but I don't want to confuse myself. But I don't remember on the podcast Harry said anything. But they might have made reference to Harry. That was it. Especially Serena. Okay, I don't remember hearing Harry's voice. Okay, maybe I could be wrong, but I know for a fact one of those articles that I read, Harry said something. Alright? I read it, but I didn't hear Harry. I read it. I heard my own voice. I move it back slightly. Let's listen.
There's a sense that she or her paymasters need him to be involved.
They sort of need him and they don't, because he was supposed to be in the original Spotify series. Do you remember? And the first one did have a lot of him in. And
okay, I'm missing something here. Was Harry supposed to be in Meghan's Spotify? I know there's 2 empty slots left. I think they're supposed to have either 10 or 12. 2 left empty. We're not sure who might be. I have a feeling there's a possibility it might be some of the people who they mentioned in the podcast who made some noise after the podcast, where the Daily Fell or the UK media made a spin on, like for instance the person at the Lion King premiere who said when Harry and Meghan got married, it felt like, okay, this was the guy who was giving his perspective of Harry and Meghan's marriage, how it felt like to him, that it felt like when Nelson Mandela was freed from prison. Now they spin it completely nothing that Meghan had said, okay, that Meghan is comparing herself with Nelson Mandela. It never went like that at all. So maybe that guy they might bring in to describe his perspective. I don't know. I know some squaddies already said it's mostly women, but you just never know. They might left those 2 spots for Harry, or maybe that one of those debunkers from previous podcasts that the UK media made noise of, and to come in with the receipt. Maybe, I don't know. But let's listen to this. Okay, the royals have to love bomb the Sussexes, and because they're so successful, and some can rub off on them. All right, let's see. 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Love bomb. If I was the royal family, I would love bomb the Sussexes.
Charles did do that. Charles did
come
out.
I think there has been attempts, though, right?
Do it more publicly. Do it more boldly.
Sources close to Charles came out and said, "I really love both my sons equally,
okay,
and I'm
you know,
very saddened."
Okay.
To hear
Charles know how to play that game.
So
Let me put.
is
Charles know how to play that game. Alright, especially what he did to the, I think the black newspaper, the British newspaper, where he guest edit. Oh, one of the squad put me in my place. Well, it was a really conversation that she disagreed with my opinion, but Charles know how to play that game. He went in to really piss off some black people in the UK and probably destroy the newspaper, because he knows a lot of people don't like him, especially the black communities in the UK. Especially what he did to Harry and Meghan. So he probably wants to shut that voice completely. That is it black British newspaper, or is it British black? Okay, black British newspaper. Alright, so he purposely, probably, in my humble opinion, did that. So people don't completely read it and then don't even bother giving them the click or buy their papers, so they could be out of business, to shut their voice down completely. So he did that on purpose. But and at the same time, he knows how to do it in a way to weaponize it. Alright, to piss off some people and to his own advantage. The less voice of regular people who's putting sensible things out there, the less he wants. So destroy it for all he wants. He doesn't give a shit. All right, let's
that
listen.
He feels he might have lost me. So he actually is reacting, which is unusual for the royal
I
family.
disagree with Tessa more. I mean, the idea of love...
That's why Charlotte's sitting there.
The idea
And
of
the voice
love
of
bombing
reason.
the Sussexes, it's ridiculous. All they do is throw mud back in the faces of the royal family.
Well, that's why I
What?
think maybe the high road is...
But if this, I want to know specific, like so many people was asking, what kind of thing did they throw back at the royal family? What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
What it means is that a senior figure in the royal household, according to Mail on Sunday, was passing him information in order to help defeat the Duchess's case.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Want when it comes to privacy.
It's not them who have said they want privacy. It's something that the tabloids have said about them that's latched on. They have taken steps when there have been blatant violations, unlawful violations of privacy. Of course, then they've challenged it because that's in line with their values. But that doesn't mean just because you assert your human rights that you then become some kind of Trappist monk and take a vow of silence and you're not allowed to discuss anything. That's not how privacy works.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Have been, as we know, is that the Mail on Sunday had the ruling against them in February, and they were then appealing it. So it was lawyers from the Mail on Sunday who would have approached Jason Naff, knowing that these emails and messages existed. That would have been the point. And unless, I mean, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Right. So that may have been one of the things that upset her, and of course the photographs were a setup. I was set up by a guy named Jeff Rayner and another guy named Dylan Howard, who was with American Media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
It's also a reminder of why they left the royal family. You know, there's Charles Spencer, Diana's brother. He's spoken about it and really, you know, sent his deep condolences. The royal family, meantime, say this is a deeply personal matter. We don't discuss this. So had Meghan still been part of the royal family, she wouldn't have been able to share that story and help lots of other women and couples going through the same thing.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Perhaps you could just give us an idea of what the last year has been like.
I
guess that's a where would you start question, but give it a go.
It's hard. You know, I don't think anybody could understand that. But I in all fairness, I had no idea, which probably sounds difficult to understand here. But when I first met my now husband, my friends were really happy because I was so happy. But my British friends said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life."
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
Royal household about someone who was, at the time at least, a very senior member of the royal family. Meghan was married to the sixth in line to the throne. And, you know, this is very serious indeed. But one other thing that I've learned is that whilst this bullying claim was submitted by their then chief communications officer, the head of comms at Kensington Palace, the staff involved didn't know that had been submitted, and when they found out, they asked for it to be rescinded. So we've got quite a difficult story here.
What? In comparison to what the royal family have done to them.
I'm so thankful that they are finally acknowledging the experience. But on the other side, I know that the family and the staff were well aware of the extent of it, And though their recollections may vary, ours don't, because we lived through it with them. I don't know who knew. I know that the family and the staff knew. I have known her for 17 years, and I have seen the way that she regards the people around her and the people she works with, and I can say she's not a bully. But I can also say that I am personally glad that people are doing their due diligence, because I also know why someone had to leave, and it was for gross misconduct. We're all happy that we are in a new era. You know, we get to tell the truth. Things are different now.
And I'm 1,000,000% sure many of the squad probably in the same boat. We don't know a scratch of it because they didn't put it out. We know small little things because of reaction to the tabloid, and at that time they would not let them speak to defend themselves, so they had to do the interview I'm talking about the Oprah interview, to defend or debunk those newspapers while they were in the UK, because they could not speak. They will not defend them. The firm will not defend them, and they want her to shut herself, to shut her mouth, and then her muting herself is creating a mental crisis. So she had to speak her truth to let it out. The same thing with Princess Diana.
Well, there's no better way to dismantle a personality than to isolate it.
So you were isolated?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
When you see, especially with that video, what's that guy, Stallman or something like that, the voice coach, okay, where Princess Diana just let everything out. All she wanted is to be heard. She wanted to be heard.
She talks about some very personal things.
Well, as we now know, she'd done it with for the Andrew Morton book on one level. In a sense, maybe doing that had helped her understand who she was. I mean, any whether it's therapy or talking to your best friend about what's really upsetting you, you feel better afterward.
But the royal family want to shut her off.
Is the good option, and that would be the high road, wouldn't it?
I think that they should. Well, no, the high road should be just to kick them off the road. They shouldn't have any royal titles anymore. It's time.
Okay, guess what? Do the UK please do what you need to do to take their titles away, because they will still be doing the exact same work. Before it was what? They're spending the royal money and all of that. They have to pay the cottage back, and then what's the next one? It's one after all. They had to leave the UK. Okay, they left. What's next? All right. If she returned, it's not up to Meghan to return the title. It's up to Harry, all right, because it was given to her. It was given to Harry, and through marriage, it's associated. It passed on to Meghan, Duchess, because that's Harry's wife. Okay, so whatever the UK needs to do to take their titles away, do it. Because if Harry decided to return it, what are they gonna? The next complaint is gonna be, oh, he's disrespecting the Queen. Okay, because it was a gift. I'm laughing because of the Frogmore cottage. It was a gift, and then they had to pay that money back after the renovation. Okay, a gift doesn't have to do all of that. So over the weekend, some of the squaddies were talking about this and on Twitter. And one of the things that I said is that, you know what? Maybe the squad should call Harry and Meghan Duke and Duchess of the world. Forget the Sussexes. Duke and Duchess of the world. They are Harry and Meghan. Because the UK seems to be stuck up with this BS title. They think a title makes somebody. The UK used their title so doors could open for them. Okay? But outside of the outside of the UK, title doesn't mean shit if you cannot produce and show what you can do with your hand and mind and, this kind of thing. My goodness, take the titles away. Who give a damn?
This is the thing that keeps coming back, though, isn't it? Is that, the royal family is this dreadful institution that I had to escape, and yet I am actually the Duchess of Sussex. I want to know what you think of her sort of like clinging onto that title.
Clinging.
I think.
What is it? In her podcast, she introduced herself as Meghan. All right. she is married to the Duke. So she is a Duchess. So UK, you do what you need to do to take it. Alright? Because if Harry decided to return it, guess what? He is disrespecting the Queen. I won't be surprised if after the Queen died, Harry purposely give it away and said, I don't need it anymore. The Queen died, so I don't want to disrespect my grandma and this and that. Take it away. And then everybody's gonna go to the frenzied whatever. They're gonna create some nonsense afterward.
She's a savvy businesswoman.
What did you study at college?
I double majored theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit. And
where?
In Argentina, in Buenos Aires.
That's sensational.
Isn't it
You
great?
speak Spanish?
I do now, but they speak
Right.
a very different kind of Spanish. It's Castellano, so it almost sounds like Italian.
Yeah.
She's a savvy businesswoman, and she understands that the Americans love a bit of royal.
Not really.
Scaffolding, and she's taken a bit of that scaffolding. And
Well, you guys are profiting from it. Look at you creating a circle out of her name, okay? For people to click to your nonsense. You profiting off of her. So when is she supposed to make money too? Because they cut Harry off, so she has to make money. Not that she needed the royal family to survive. She knows what hard work is all about. My goodness, these people.
From the institution that she can't stand?
From the institution that she's working through her pain with. She's still got pain there. I see.
Oh my God. The pain that the institution put on her for marrying the beloved prince who wanted to marry her. They putting the pain on her. My goodness. You people, God, they need to feel and experience what Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, have gone through in order for them to understand. Because these people will never understand. They need a baggage. They need a baggage. That way they could understand what Harry and Meghan have gone through. But let's keep listening.
Posted on Twitter saying Meghan of Montecito has done an interview, and then about 20 minutes later deleted it and reposted it as Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex.
So
okay, I wasn't aware of that.
And said, you missed out the most important bit of my name. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
But we could argue.
Oh, who did that? Is it Meghan who did it, or is it the Archwell? Okay, I was not aware of that. You see how quick they're really following, how close they are following anything Meghan? I wasn't even aware of that. I'm not, even though I share tweets with you, I'm not on Twitter all the time. But they were aware of that. But okay.
It's a win for monarchy. That is a win. In the end, she's saying she needs that title. So we should own that. And I think we should walk out a bit more proudly. That actually, you're right. There's nothing there if it wasn't for the British monarchy.
What?
Richard, there was.
Do you think Harry and Meghan make it that far because of the royal family? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, so if that's the case, how come, William and Kate, what's the other one? Edward, who did the Arden production. How come they're not as successful as Harry and Meghan? How come? If this is the case, how come the rest of the royal family are not as successful as Harry and Meghan? You don't think it's their hard work that put them in that position? That the world actually loved them for what they have done? You think it's the title that's make them? Oh my God, these people are delusional. Okay, remember, I did a video about Arden production. Okay, that's Edward. I think Edward, the youngest son of the Queen. Okay, who created something, and he had millions of pounds that was what do you call this, that he raised or sponsored for his thing, and then at the end, every single year it was a loss. And I think, in my humble opinion, I did another video why I think he claimed losses for, is it 7 or 8 years? I don't remember the years. Alright, and I did another video that said there's a possibility this is the reason why he claimed losses. I do not know how the tax system work in the UK, but when Edward did his Arden production, he wasn't, receiving, that's what they claim, I don't know, funding from the institution. So by having that Arden production, he was making his own money, but every single effing years it was losses. And then I came across a video that Rachel Maddow did that spoke about Trump. Okay, and that raised the question as to why he claimed loss, meaning Edward claimed loss for so many years, so he didn't have to pay tax, because when you in the negative, you don't have any to give. So he claimed losses every year for 8 years. How can a business stay in business for 8 years? Okay, eventually it shut down. Okay, eventually it shut down. He can't keep it up for that long. But okay, if Harry and Meghan are clinging on titles and this is what makes them so successful, how come the rest of the royal family are not as successful globally like that? Instead, you're seeing Charles having bag full of cash from Saudis. And you're hearing the other royals are getting cash from Russian whatever. Go back to some of my videos. I share some articles about this. So, what's going on here? If it's the title that makes Harry and Meghan. These people are delusional, but let's listen.
Interesting story as well this week, wasn't there? Linking it to the investigation into the alleged bullying at the palace.
Yeah, this seemed to be a bit of a reaction already to the interview from courtiers at the palace who were making...
When was that? So I'm a little bit confused with that. Was it before? Okay, I got a small confusion here about the bullying. Then they come out, they know that they have the result of the bullying, but they will not make it public. So what's going on? So if it was to the palace advantage, I'm pretty sure they would have put it out. Okay, let's see here. Apparently this school, their last chance to see Betty, meaning that if they want to see her, they'll be blocked. Okay, 1 minute and 9 seconds.
The Queen's health, I really think
But
it's
do you
for
think
the
they might
best.
go and
They might
visit
not
her?
want to visit her. Oh, sorry.
Do you think they'll go and visit her?
Yeah, I think they've got themselves into a position where it's going to be too difficult to visit her. It's too embarrassing for them.
What?
There'll be a hostile reception.
What?
Everyone will be on their guarded duty. I think they've got...
I'm laughing because remember the INVICTUS in Netherlands, Harry and Meghan made a quick stop to see the Queen. Now they already have this all map planned out. I don't even think Harry and Meghan are into that because they're probably already in Germany. They probably didn't even sleep in the UK. They came in the day that they were supposed to do the One Young World. Oh, they probably have to give themselves a leeway just in case of delay of flight or something. They probably did come the day before. But there's also the possibility the same day that they were going to do the One Young World speech on the 5th. Okay, they landed in the UK and then get ready, go to the event and then fly to to Germany. They didn't even stay in the UK. They already know how horrible this place is, but these people... But anyway, let's listen.
Themselves into a position where this could be their last chance, I hope it's not, to visit the Queen in Balmoral, and they might have lost it because of their own publicity.
What the hell? They come here for work. They come here for work. Their lives don't evolve around the firm. This is why they step down. Their world don't, when I mean them, I mean Harry and Meghan world, don't evolve around the firm anymore. How the hell this is the last gem? I'm surprised. What nonsense did she say again? Let's listen.
They might have lost it because of their own publicity.
Well, they're here for their work, like I was saying. They're here for their work, so they're focusing on their work right now. Okay? When they asked the firm to do 50-50, what did they say? The firm said no. So now they're focusing on their work. They need to make money. Okay, there's Meghan Markle trending, 10.3 thousand tweet. Let's continue reading.
Move quickly on to this new episode of Meghan's podcast. Richard, have you been to bed with Mariah and Meghan? Did you make it through this
listen
one?
to a bit of it. I mean,
Yeah.
how many weeks do I have to listen to this podcast? I'm
Okay.
not sure
How
I
many
could
are there? There's
take
about
it.
8?
I think there's 8 in this.
Eight. This is where I was saying they know the schedule more than most qualities. I don't even remember. But this guy, okay, so this is where it started. I should have started from here and go up, but I went from down and back. That's him complaining, it's painful to listen to it, but yet you're still listening.
Dear me, you're trying to kill me in this job.
Not me. Not me.
But no, it's the same old thing. Look, I was interested in hearing about Mariah Carey. You know, she's a great figure, just like Serena Williams. And I was hoping for some interesting details about her past. But again, it was Meghan. It was Meghan in the headlines. The story that came out this time was about how Meghan had only started to see herself as black after going out with Prince Harry. And she seemed to turn it around, so again, it was all about her. And
Well, guess what? Deal with it. That's her podcast. There you go. You're gonna tune in again to hear everything about her, like you will always claim. So deal with it. That's her podcast. She said what she wants. All right. Let's see here. Remember when they tried to say that Alison P. Davis is a Meghan of Montecito fan? Okay, the cut. And her profile of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Alison P. Davis, intimately captures the resilience Meghan has displayed despite the almost unimaginable pressure she has been under, and photographer at Campbell Andy captured her ready for a fresh start. The cut. All right, so I'm 1 hour and 31 minutes. I might have this. I might do a small sneak peek on that because it's slightly long, and
from an American audience.
I'm gonna stop this video now. I have more, but let's do a prayer. Okay, prayer for continuing support and protection. Let's see if something new added. All right, no side prayers. All right, let's go to image. Let's do this one. Father in heaven, our family has been struggling with health issues. We need our strength to be renewed. We ask that you guide us and be near us as we attempt to regain our health, strengthen our bodies and our mind as we struggle through the season of life. Help us to support and take care of each other as we should during this time of sick. I'll leave it as that because I'm gonna do another video because I have more tweets to share with you. I'm probably gonna just keep on recording because tomorrow my husband might be working from home and I have the computer all to myself today, so let me just record. Whenever I get to the editing, I get to them. All right, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. That's it.